Welcome to the making of Spy from the Beyond. I am Matthew Charbonneau, the director / 3D animator of Spy from the Beyond. I also play as the character Noah Peterson in the actual film itself. Link in the description if you haven't seen the film yet. Today we are using Blender 2.9 and I will be showcasing this. So as you see in the box is what I wanted to work with. So within the box is my animation space, showcasing the lighting of things and stuff like that. And that's the camera right there and the spaceship lighting, that small box. The lines are just, pointing to different lightings. The animation, even if it's a 5-second animation, it took me about 4 to 5 months to complete. As someone that's new to Blender, and I'm going to be showcasing, the animation that you guys would see on your side, right here. So that's what you would see, and I did toy with it a little bit, see what it would look like if I tried flipping the ship. It did not look that good. So we just stuck with the little movements just to represent like what a spaceship would actually be like in space itself. And I thought it would be cool just to show you guys the different camera angles that I could have worked with, and compared to what you saw in the actual film. So like this is one of the shots that you actually saw in the film, right? And then if we move it forward, there was another shot in the film that showed a front kind of view, like that kind of view in a way, and it's not presetted. So yeah, it's one of the shots that was taken in the film. So I'm going to try getting to another shot. I think I showed it before the frontal shot, but I just tried it again. So we are going to go over to modeling, and that's stage 2. Okay, so modeling was the bit rough one, I would say. Most time consuming, not so much the animation. Here I'm going to scruff up the ship a little bit just so you can see what I had to work with, just to make the scope of the ship. Very, very time consuming. And you see this is making the ship, shape shift and disformed, and I would have to reform it, try to get the shapes correctly, try to get the shape correctly, and I had to mess with all these tools, and it was a very tedious, time-consuming project, and I felt like I could have gone down the miniature route to do miniatures for the spaceship. I knew that was an option, but I wanted to try doing 3D modeling, and here we're screwing with some nods in a way, masking nods, and I could have done miniatures, but I didn't. I wanted more of a more advanced type of challenge, if you would. As you see here, there's a white plate on the side of the screen. I ended up splitting the screen, enlarging the other side. You see, that's what I had to mess with. And we're going to go over texture painting, and texture painting is basically just painting the tint of the ship. And if I wanted to, I could change the color, but in this case I wanted to paint the tint. As you see, like I said, on the white template side, it's changing the color. It's not going to show it on the grayscale. And now we're in the shading side of things. This is where you mess around with the actual, like, what do you call it? I'm trying to think of the word. The worn, the worn of the ship. Like if it's worn or, aged or pristine, if you would. And well kept is another term we could use. As you see here, these are different nods. These are the nods that I tried mentioning earlier, but the other ones were masking nods, if you would. Now, here I'm just toying with it just to show you guys what transformations there were to be made. It's, like I said, it took a few months just to knock everything down, nail it all out of the park. Then we're on the, animation stage right now. Showing you guys everything that went into this. It's kind of crazy, and honestly, in my opinion, in the end, I think it was worth it. And here's the composing, then the geometry. the math. If you don't know geometry, good luck with using Blender. I highly suggest looking up tutorials. There's a lot of math. And if you know any coding like Python or any of that, personally, I had to search up some tutorials myself. I'll admit it. I'm not going to be a victim in this case. I had to search up some tutorials too. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no shame in that. You know, people are out there to help. But here I just turned on the scene itself. And we got the stars in the background. You know, the whole space theme. You see the bloom on the spaceship. Bloom is the lighting that make it look semi-realistic, not really realistic. If I was using Unreal Engine 4 or Unreal Engine 5 is it now, that would look pretty cool and pretty kind of realistic, I would say. So right now I'm just showing like how I animated the ship and just a quick preview, you know, just frame by frame, and you know, it's not as tedious as if you're an OG member of the channel. Back in the day, I was working on lightsabers for Star Wars fan films, and I don't have the fan films up anymore for various reasons. Not just because they're cringy or anything, it was copyright, right? And I didn't want to have to go through that whole grand scheme of things. But with the lightsabers, just pinpointing 4 different points on the lightsaber itself to make it illuminate every frame per second. This is not every frame per second, thankfully. You can skip every 20 frames. As you see here, it goes from 0 to 20 to 20 to 40 to 40 to 100, you know. It's not like the lightsabers where it's 1 frame, 2 frame, 3 frame, you know, so on and so forth. As you see here, I'm demonstrating what it would look like and stuff. Every 20 to 100 frames. And yeah, the ship's looking pretty broken, if you would, you know. It's not doing space things unless it got hit by a meteor or got shot out of freaking orbit for some reason, you know, hyperspaced out of orbit. Into orbit, I'm sorry, hyperspaced into orbit. My English is bad right now. I digress though. And we have the masking version of what it would look like too. So a lot goes into 3D animating in Blender. At the end of this video, I will show some clips from Spy to the Beyond. Yes, official clips. And they're officially done and rendered and animated. And I'll show some clips at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. Right now I'm just screwing around with the view of things right now with the spaceship. I'm not getting bored. Trust me, I am not getting bored. But yeah, so what we could have done is just, we could have enlarged it, scaled it. You can do all that in Blender. But we decided just to keep its MIDI scale just because of, like I said, I had a box I wanted to work with. And I didn't want a big, large spaceship because, well. But yeah, all in all, this was the Spy from the Beyond Blender animation. Expect to see miniatures and Blender animations in Spy to the Beyond. See you all soon. Bye.